Hello everybody, good morning. A week or so ago I picked up a book by Lawrence Green. You remember him? The old travel writer of a previous generation in this country. The book's title was Full Many a Glorious Morning. Full Many a Glorious Morning. I tell you, this is a book that, a day that would fit that title. Full many a glorious morning. This is the day that the Lord has made. So let's not forget to rejoice and be glad in it. We're talking about masks that we've kind of grown to accept as part of our lives. No, we're talking about more than just this, however. We're talking about those masks that we put on that keep people from seeing the real us. We're nervous that think that people might not like the real person that they see if we took off our very carefully prepared masks. Before he became a follower of Jesus, Paul's name was Saul. And Saul outwardly had so much to commend him. I mean, as far as his credentials were concerned, physical credentials, he was pretty impressive. Good education, good home, a good tribe, the tribe of Benjamin. He'd been through all the right rituals, he'd been circumcised. He really knew his stuff. People thought, now there is a man for the future. As he was young and growing up, they could say he's got a grand future. So it was a very cultivated and impressive mask that he had on. And one thing about Saul, he was also very zealous. He didn't just believe things, boy. He was determined to put into practice the things that he believed. So he was rising through the ranks. But you know, the more you read about it, the more you understand that there was this huge mask over his face, and that underneath all that was impressive outwardly to the human eye, there was a cauldron of heaving emotions. There was anger there. More than anger, there was hatred. And when the Christian sect arrived on the scene, Paul's anger just took over. And we read, for instance, that he was there at the death of Stephen, giving consent to the martyrdom of this young Christian guy as they stoned him to death. All in the name of his God, which really is quite strange and quite sad. So there is the great Saul, soon to be Paul, but the great Saul, great guy, behind all that stuff going on inside of him. And then, as you remember, he set out for Damascus, there to nail even more Christians, thinking that he was pleasing God in the process. That cauldron of hatred had somehow distorted his perception, and that to destroy Christians was what God approved of. How convoluted can our thinking sometimes become when we don't face up to what is really going on in our souls. And it was on the road to Damascus, you remember, that Jesus met him. No, not physically. It wasn't as if Jesus came walking to Jerusalem and Saul was on his way to Damascus. Hi, I'm Jesus. No. Jesus stepped in, and in a vision, he met Jesus. It was real. This was the spiritual presence of Jesus appearing to Paul, ripping the mask off, as it were. It was quite rough treatment, actually. Saul, why are you doing this? Why are you doing what you are doing? Why are you persecuting me? Why are you trying to eliminate my people, the Christians. And it was the encounter with Jesus that transformed this man. It's a bit like Nicodemus. We were speaking about him yesterday. But Paul, or Saul, met Jesus. And it was almost as if Jesus kind of dug into his soul and drew out the poison that was so consuming him. And that poison was taken out, and Saul, now Paul, speaks about being a new being, a new creation. Why? Because now he was walking with Jesus. Yeah. Think about that, friends. What's going on in your life today? What is hiding behind that mask? And just invite Jesus to come. Not as a dermatologist and apply a little cream to the skin, but as the surgeon to go in and to get out that poison which is, and so often is, distorting our lives. Be that as it may you know the love of Christ in your heart today. God be with you.